guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be sharing with you all my full coverage foundation routine. This routine is going to last you all day if you're having a long work day like I do sometimes, or if you're just lounging around the house all day. This is going to last through all of that, and I really like how it came out. I did use quite a bit of high-end products in this video, so I definitely think that they are all worth the money. So if you guys want to see how I got this face, then just keep on watching. Okay, so to start with our full coverage foundation routine, I am going to first use a primer. This is just the Illuminator primer. I've been using this one a lot lately. It's so good. I do recommend using a wear boosting primer, but I'm really dry, so I kind of need all of the moisture that I can get on my skin. Use your common judgment whenever it comes to primers. Like if you think that you need that extra boost of hydration, because full coverage foundations, generally speaking, they are going to be a more matte finish as opposed to a dewy finish. So if your skin is going to look cakey and dry throughout the day, your foundation is not going to look good. So definitely do whatever works best for your skin, but for right now my skin needs that hydration, so I am using a Radiance primer. And then we're just going to let that set. I usually let it set for about 30 to 60 seconds depending on what I'm doing for the day. I am next going to go in with the concealer. I do go in with concealer before foundation whenever I'm doing full coverage, because I want the concealer to really blend in with the foundation. So I'm just going to use the Clinique Advanced Concealer. This one is super full coverage. Actually, before I do that, I am going to go in first with a color corrector. This one is by Wet n Wild and it is their Mega Cushion, and this is the peachy shade. I love this stuff. And I'm just going to put that right where I get the darkest. And I'm not going to blend that completely out right away. I'm going to go in with the concealer right over top of it, just like this. And then once we blend the concealer, it'll blend everything out. So like I mentioned before, I'm going to go in with this one. It's super full coverage. And I like to get a little amount on the back of my hand first so that it's not all concentrated on the eye and you can really blend it out. And I am going to blend it out with this brush. This is the Chic Foundation brush by IT Cosmetics. If you use a brush, it's going to be a lot more full coverage than if you use a sponge. And then I'm just going to take the remaining and put it on the sides of my nose because that's where I tend to get the darkest. I'm just going to take the excess concealer down and on the tops of my eyelids. And I'll even take it a little bit in here just so everything kind of matches. Okay, and then I'm just going to take the remaining concealer on the back of my hand and put it in my highlighting area. So right down the bridge of my nose. So we're basically covering our whole nose in concealer first. And then on my forehead, I do have little blemishes up there. Please ignore them, they just popped up overnight. And then for foundation today, I am going to be mixing two foundations to get my perfect shade. I am going to go in first with the Clinique Beyond Perfecting, and then I am going to follow up with the Estee Lauder Double Wear, and this is in the shade Tawny. So right now my tan is fading a little bit, so this is just a hair too dark for me. And then this one is my winter shade, which is Linen and the Beyond Perfecting. So I'm going to mix the two to get the perfect shade. And these are both really full coverage foundations and I love them. So, and then to blend that, I'm just going to take this Real Techniques, this is their buffing brush, and I'm just going to pat that all over my face. And you want to make sure that you get all the way back to your hairline, or else there will be a line on your foundation. Also go under the chin, It's another place people miss. I love both of these foundations so much. They're so pretty and they work really well together. Blemish. I really don't do anything special to cover up blemishes. I just find that they are a part of life, and the more you try to cover them up, the more that they are going to stand out. That's just my personal experience with them. I am going to take whatever's left on the double wear bottle because it doesn't have a pump, so it's hard to get the exact amount you need. And I'm just going to run that down my neck. And now I am going to go in with a cream highlight before I start with any powders. So for my highlight today, I am going to use the Clinique Chubby Stick Sculpting Highlight, and this is in the shade Hefty Highlight. This is such a pretty color. Like, it is so stinking reflective. I love it so much. So I'm just going to apply that on the tops of my cheekbones and a little, you know, like that. And then I'm just going to take my finger and blend that out. This is going to ensure that your highlight stays, because cream products naturally, since they sink into your skin, last a lot longer than powder products. I'm seriously surprised I haven't run out of this yet. And this is just the Real Techniques contour brush. Guys, the coverage is real. Okay, and then I am just going to go over top of my eyelids with this powder also to set them down, because I'm not going to be using that much shadow, and if I was, I would have gone in with a eyeshadow base as opposed to a concealer. Sometimes I do just use a concealer, but whenever I want something really glam, I'll go in with an eye primer. Okay, and then I am going to set just this cheek area here with powder also. I'm just going to powder the forehead a little too. I'm going to go in with a powder bronzer today. Okay, so just the perimeter of the face. And now I am going to go in with bronzer. So I'm going to be taking this teeny tiny little Estee Lauder brush. I've been loving this for contouring. Literally, it's the perfect size. It's like the perfect density. It doesn't disperse so much product that I'm like sitting here blending for years. It's just amazing. And I am going to take my Pure Color Envy Sculpting palette, and I'm going to take this bronzer shade, which is in the color Sculpting Bronzer. Absolutely amazing. And I'm just going to take that right underneath the cheekbone. You really want to focus a lot of the product back here so that it's not all concentrated up in this area, so that it all kind of just seamlessly blends together, even whenever your hair is like pulled back. So just gonna focus that first right back here and then bring it up and then blend up into your cheek area to blend it out. Don't ever go down, because that's gonna make your face look droopy. And just build it up slightly and slowly. You don't want a bronzer shade that's too deep for your skin. I would say go 1 or 2 shades darker than your natural skin tone, because I've done that before and it looks really muddy really quick. I actually had to redo my makeup one time whenever I went to work and it wasn't working out for me. And then you see how this side's like more narrow? I'm just gonna flip it like this so I can get a really seamless blend. And that's why this brush is perfection. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good there. I am going to go a little bit on the forehead. Now for blush, I'm going to go in with this e.l.f. This is like the dual blush and bronzer. I love this blush shade so much. It's so light and natural, but also shimmery at the same time. I just think it looks beautiful on the cheeks. Okay, and I did take that on the IT Cosmetics Chic Blush brush. Okay, and now I do want to go in with a little bit more highlight, because more is more when it comes to highlight. I'm going to take the Smashbox Casey Holmes, this is the Spotlight Palette in Pearl. And I am going to take this middle shade right here, which is Crank It Up Pearl. And I'm going to apply that over top of the cream highlight with this Real Techniques setting brush. I use the crap out of this highlight. It's so gorgeous. Okay, and right down the nose. Okay, now to contour my nose, the last step of this foundation routine, I am going to go in with the same bronzer, but I'm going to take a different brush. I'm going to go in, hold on. For bronzer, for the nose contour, I am going to go in with this e.l.f. contouring brush. It's just a nice stamped brush, like it's a straight line, it's perfect. Like I said, I am going to go with the same bronzer I used for my cheeks. And just make a nice line. Okay, and to make sure that contour is not too harsh, I am going to go and blend it out with the brush that I used to set my under eyes with. And I'm just going in circular motions so it's not that harsh. And it really blends the highlight with the contour and all that. Okay, now I am going to go and finish the rest of my face, and I'll be back to finish up the look. Okay, you guys, I am back now. I did a super simple look today, and the last step in my foundation routine is going to be to set your face. This is such an important tip that not a lot of people know about. Like, unless you watch a lot of YouTube or you're online a lot, you're just a really big makeup junkie, you probably don't know this tip. And I actually told a client about it yesterday who eye shade matched an Estee Lauder, and she had no idea about it, so I thought that I would just mention this really quickly because this is a very vital step if you want your makeup to last. Now, this is not a wear boosting setting spray at all. This is just going to make our skin look dewy, luminous, very healthy and hydrated, and that is what I need. This is the Thirsty Skin Relief Moisture Surge Face Spray from Clinique. This is just going to ensure that none of my foundation breaks up because my skin can get dry, so it's just really going to make my skin look overall more flawless because I am giving it what it needs. That is the key to a flawless foundation. Give your skin what you need because skincare is the most important thing. Another important step in not just the setting spray in general, but the application of the setting spray. So if you set your face and then immediately right after you fan it, that is really going to lock in your makeup. And even though this isn't a wear boosting setting spray, it will help to set down my face and prolong the wear of my foundation. Also, one other tip for setting spray that I wanted to mention is if you spray it far from your face, then those drops are less likely to happen on your foundation. Okay, you guys, so that is going to complete my makeup for the day. I hope you all enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below letting me know what you thought of it. Also, if you would like for me to do a full coverage foundation routine using only drugstore products, also leave that in the comments down below. Let me know what you want to see. And that is it. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. I will have them all floating around on the screen for your convenience. And I hope you all are having an amazing week. I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.